Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Today we are going to be making pork egg rolls. I'm so excited. So I just wanted to give you a little rundown on my meat. I took a 5-pound pork, and I put it in my crock pot. I cooked it for about 13 hours. It's nice and tender and everything. Put it in the refrigerator to cool because I wanted to get the talon, the meat fat off my pork, which is right here. I cook with this, and it's a natural fat to cook with. I want to show you call it my meat jelly. My meat jelly is delicious. You're going to love the flavor of it. This is how you make good gravies. This is how you dress up a roast. I keep these things. I have some pork that is pre-portioned here because I know this is going to be another dinner. And then this will also be another dinner. But I just wanted to show you because when we come back to make egg rolls, we're going to chop this up together. And then I'm going to take my green onions, my cilantro, and my sauce, and my salt and pepper. And I'll explain everything. But I wanted to explain my pork because it's very important to me that I use every piece of my pork. Like fat, everything. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay. We are going to chop up our onion. I already chopped up my cilantro. I used a whole little bush of cilantro. I just wanted you to see, for our beautiful egg rolls. Now I'm going to cut the onion real fast. I'm going to chop it really good because you know me, I don't like onion in my stuff too much. But my family loves their green onions and their cilantro and their egg rolls, which is really good. Got the fryer out. We're going to fry these. You can bake them, you can pan fry them, or you can put them in your fryer. Today I'm going to put them in my fryer. I like egg rolls. They taste pretty darn good. And I like them any way you want to cook them. I'm not picky. I think I'm telling a food lie. I am picky. But I do like them cooked any which way. I just, my ingredients is my thing. I'm probably more of a pork kind of person when it comes to the actual egg roll. I like the way the pork sticks to the veg. If we're going to have the coleslaw in there, the coleslaw mix, or the, just the cabbage mix, not coleslaw mix, the cabbage mix. They call it coleslaw because it's ready. All you got to do is add your coleslaw mix to it and you're good to go. I'm going to let these get chopped up pretty good. I want to be able to spread them around. Okay, you guys know I'm an overstuffer, so I had to weigh out my meat. I have a pound of meat, and then I'm going to have 4 cups of veg along with the actual green onion and the cilantro. And I'm just doing this so that if I get a bite, I don't get a bite too big, and then I'll be a happy camper. But it is going to mix into the cabbage mixture, which is good, so therefore it won't, just make it all just an onion bite. And because green onions are more mild, that's a lot easier for me, somebody who doesn't care for the crunch of an onion, to take on. Okay, so we're ready. These are all chopped up. That was 6 green onions, 1 bunch of coleslaw, and then I'm going to go ahead and get this in my pan or my bowl so I can mix everything around. Okay, I'm going to start with 4 cups of cabbage mixture, carrots and cabbage. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my green onion and I'm going to shake it all about here because what I want is everything to be nicely incorporated and evenly spread so that when I mix in the meat, it'll all be good. So I want everything nice and even as possible. And like I said, I have to weigh mine out because I am what's called a overstuffer, and it doesn't mix good with egg rolls to overstuff them because then you have breakage, they don't fry right, and then my mixture will be off with my vegetable and my meat, just like I had to go ahead and weigh out my meat. I have 1 pound of pork, and that's the same pork I showed you earlier. I've already packaged my pork meat, my pork jelly, and some about 2-3 different bags of meat so that I have 2-3 different dinners because like when I do make pork, beef, I want to make enough where I have multiple dinners for multiple days. Okay, so to me it looks all good. I'm going to start mixing this up real fast. And then I'm going to come back and add more meat. But let me clean my hands here so I'm not all dirty here. This is one where it's going to get a little messy. So what I want to explain here is I have 1.5 teaspoons of soy sauce. You can use whatever kind you want. I also have 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right down like this because I want everything to incorporate. Okay, and then I have I have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm just going to go ahead and just put them in like that because I am going to mix it with my hand. I just want to get the seasonings in before I have too much meat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fork and I'm going to start mixing. I'm going to go like this because I don't want to get the soy and stuff all on my hand and take it off my mixture. That's how I flavor mine, just like this. And then what I do is I'm going to put the rest of the meat in here because I want it to be a nice consistency between the actual good pork flavor. And then, you know, we use a little bit of soy sauce with ours. But with the green onions and the cilantro and a little bit of soy and a little bit of sesame oil, oh my gosh, it is just perfect. It's not too overpowering in any direction. The veg is perfect. Okay. And now that I've got a lot of stuff mixed in, I'm just going to go ahead and mix it with my hands now because I want everything incorporated. I want the green onions, I want the meat. And so what I do is I don't shred my meat. I kind of chop it with a knife because I want every piece of the egg roll to have vegetable and meat. But before I used to put way too much meat in and you couldn't taste the vegetable. The idea in the egg roll is to actually, in my opinion, be able to taste both. So that's why I mix mine. Plus I want the green onion and the cilantro all over. I went from a big bowl where it's all nice and puffy. Now it's all going to sit together. And then this way, when I scoop it out, everything will have a good consistency. And I actually use my little scooper here, my metal measuring cups, because I don't want to overstuff. And I learned if I used something and made it more consistent, it would be better for me and everybody else that I was showing how to make them. So wash the hands, get them nice and clean. Okay, I also have 1 egg. I cracked it and I mixed it up, and this is how we're going to seal our egg roll. So I'm going to get everything out of my way so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I've got my fryer on 325 right now. It's heating, so we're good there. And then when I'm rolling egg rolls, traditionally I roll a lot at one time. So I want to show you my little concoction I came up with. I have towels that I only use for my foods. So what I did is I took a towel, wet it, put it in my baking dish, and then I have my egg rolls here too so that I can keep my egg rolls from drying out. My wrappers, I should say. Today I'm using the Dynasty egg roll wrappers. I like these. These are thick. And then I'm going to show you another one that I use. These ones are really good. These are very thin, and I love the texture when I'm in the mood for thin. These are thick, and but they taste great. They're nice and crunchy. Usually I'll use those when I'm going to go ahead and make a lot of egg rolls, and I'm going to freeze them. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry some for you today, but I'm actually going to freeze most of my egg rolls tonight because I want to have a backstock. And so instead of me buying a processed egg roll, I kind of get everything done myself. I cook my own meat, get everything done, and that's how I do it. So I'm going to make a few so I can show you how to make them. I'm going to go ahead and cover these again so my egg roll wrapper does not dry out. And like I said, really easy. It's a towel that I use for only cooking. I do not wash this towel in my washer. These are ones that I hand wash and I hand dry them, and then I go ahead and I put them in the back into the pantry or the storeroom where I keep the food. I don't know why I'm touching it with my hand because I always am touching with my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack. It's a 1/4 cup. And what I do is I just pack it so it has all the vegetables and everything in there. And then what I do is I just drop it down like that, kind of form it with my hand. This is how I make my egg rolls because I feel that they come out most consistent. I have enough vegetable, I don't have too much meat, and I think it works good. My husband says they're good, and if he says they're good, that means they're good. So I'm going to take it, I put it here, I'm going to wrap it over like that. I'm going to just squish it down real easy. You don't want to break your egg roll wrapper. Then what I'm going to do is fold it in, take the other one, fold it in, and I try to do it really super tight so that when I go to fry them, they don't open or anything. I'm going to take some egg wash, and I'm just going to put it on. And then what I'm going to do is wrap it as tight as possible and just keep rolling it. Okay? That's what I'm going to do, and it's okay if the egg sits there. I'm just going to put it here underneath my towel because when the egg roll wrappers dry out, you can have a tendency for them to crack, and we don't want them to crack. Okay, so like I said, I'm an overstuffer. This allows me not to overstuff, which I like because then I have a much more consistent, I have meat, I have veg, and we are in a good spot here. So what I'm going to do is just tuck it in and then just start rolling. And after you roll a few, because even for me, I'm like, oh goodness at first. Then I roll a couple and I'm fine and dandy. As you roll more, you'll be more consistent. So your 4th or 5th one, you're a pro. And if you make them like I do, you'll make 20 or 30 of them. And the reason I'm using these today, like I said earlier, is I make them for my husband's lunches and stuff like that. These are a little bit thicker than my other ones that I like to use. But it has a better crunch the next day. Because sometimes, things like this, they won't have such a good crunch the next day. And he does take them the next day after we eat them that night. But most of these, I'll go ahead and just prepare them. And then I'm going to put them in my freezer. And when I want a fresh one or fresh egg rolls that night, then guess what? We go to the freezer. They're vacuum sealed, packed. And then what we do is we just go ahead, take them out, and we get them fried up. Also, when you're wrapping these, put it sideways like this because it'll make it much easier for you to keep everything in and straight when you're rolling. And just tuck it in. It's really easy. Just tuck it in. And then what we're going to do is just roll. I'm going to put my egg wash. And then what we're going to do in a minute, we'll make one more and then we're going to fry all 4. But just roll them. And they'll come out delicious, And like I said, I've baked them, I've fried them, I've pan fried them. Honestly, frying them is a little bit faster and easier than baking them or pan frying them. Not quite as much work after you've rolled them all out. And like I said, today I'm going to make quite a few. So I thought, we're going to use the fryer today. Okay, so don't get crazy. I tell myself, don't get crazy, don't overstuff, because I think the last one, even though I'm using my measuring cup, I was trying to overstuff. And then what I do is just squeeze it out. But that's me. I'm the overstuffer, and I already know this. So just form it. Reason I like to make egg rolls too, it's easy. You learn how to make them. You can make wonton wrappers with anything. Oh my gosh, you can put rice in them. You can put corn. My family always tells me, don't get crazy, just make the egg roll and leave it alone. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make the egg roll and leave it alone. But I guarantee you, you'll enjoy these. And like I said, it's a good way to use some of your pork. You get multiple dinners out of your pork. You can use chicken, or you can just do a vegetable. vegetables perfectly fine for an egg roll, no meat needed. So now what we're gonna do is, since we got 4, I'm gonna put 4 in my fryer. 4 works in my fryer real well. See how these sit real nice? I'm gonna drop it in. I go ahead and dangle it for a minute. Let that oil hit it. I'm gonna put another one in. And then I'm just gonna lay it down easily. I'm gonna put this one in. That's number 3. And then let's do number 4. Okay, I'm going to keep mixing as we cook these as soon as they're nice and brown, because remember, everything is cooked in there, so you have nothing to worry about. Pork is done. All we're doing is really cooking the wonton wrapper and heating the meat so that everything will taste nice and delicious. This is really not very expensive at all. You know, I always buy my coleslaw when it's on sale. We got a good price for it, 99 cents a bag. So that was really good. And like I said, I just put my mixture right down like this, but I do use the scoop. It doesn't look as politically correct, but let me tell you, presentation, how we said, how things look, how they roll up is going to be very important. If you don't roll your egg roll tight, then they shall break open, and it's not good. You'll have a mess in your fryer or however you cook them. And then just roll. And then what I'm going to do is egg wash. I use a lot of egg on mine. I don't think you have to use that much, but I'm not going to use the egg for anything else, so might as well use as much as I can. And got some little cabbage there. Okay, that's how it looks. It looks absolutely beautiful. I would say anybody who wants to try something different, or if you don't know how, the egg roll wrappers were $3.99. The bag of cabbage was 99 cents. My pork, I got a good price, $1.29 on my pork. That's good. I used to be able to get it for 99 cents. And then now I have to pay, unfortunately, I have to pay anywhere from $1, usually 39 to $2. So I don't buy pork like that. I usually have pork in my freezer. I buy them when they're on sale. I don't usually buy anything that's not on sale. I just wait for a deal. And then what I do is I always pick up 2. Sometimes my husband looks at me like, how many are you going to get? But then, you know, sometimes they don't go on sale again. So now I don't have to worry about it. I have 2, and I bought it on sale. So I always have that. So these are going to cook until golden brown, a couple minutes, about 3-4 minutes, sometimes even 5, depending on how hot. I just turned my fryer up. I turned it to 325. I had it on 300, but I'm going to cook them at 325. And then we're just going to continue to roll egg rolls, because like I said, we're freezing them. So after I get these all rolled, then we'll go ahead and we'll put them in the freezer, and we'll be good to go. And I have lunches. I have breakfast stuff. If the guys want it in the morning, we can go ahead and we can bake them too. So, you know, it's not a big deal. So even if you didn't want to fry, or it was early, or you were having lunch and you didn't want to make a mess, just put them in the oven. Let them bake. They're good. Until they're golden. Like I said, everything's already cooked. All you're doing is cooking your wrapper and heating your meat. Okay, these are looking beautiful. Okay, we're gonna roll, tuck, roll, tuck, egg wash, and then make sure they're tight so you can see your vegetables. That's always a good way to go. Small and thin. It takes time to be consistent. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I struggle, even though I make them a lot. And they normally always, I mean, I've never had egg rolls not come out. It's that simple. And like I said, you know, I've done them on the pan too. Okay. Okay. We should have a nice consistency of everything in here. Okay, looking good. These are just looking fantastic. I don't eat a whole lot of fried food, but when I do, I try to eat it at home, to be honest. And, I don't really just go out too much to eat fried food. Usually if we do, it's like KFC, something like that, because I don't care how good I make chicken. Mine is not as good as KFC. I am not even going to try and tell a lie. That's not happening. But otherwise, I just eat my food here. And, that getting old thing called triglycerides, they don't let you eat out as much as you used to. Could get by with it when you were young and not older. So try to not eat too many fried things. Try to do a little bit more baked, more salads, exercise, things like that. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I didn't learn it when I was younger, so now I have to pay 3 times harder than I'm older. Okay, these look gorgeous. These are done. Done, done, done. And they are absolutely beautiful color. So I'm going to set these up. I'm going to go ahead and move my egg roll mixture. So I have a nice clean counter because, boy, let me tell you, this girl knows how to make a mess. I tell you, good thing I don't mind cleaning up after myself because I can sure make a mess. Good Lord. I tell you. But I encourage you guys to try these egg rolls. Like I said, you can put a multitude of things in there, from rice, veggies, meat, no meat, whatever you're craving that day, you can do. I want you to take a look at these. These are beautiful. I had a few more cooked earlier that I did, but I wanted you guys to see how I wrap them. And not only that, we're testing these wrappers to make sure that they'll taste good for the next day, because that's our thing. So these look absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to cut one. And I'm going to place it on a plate. And then what we do is just dip our soy sauce. Look at that. That looks fantastic. You can see the beautiful veg. You can see the meat. Oh, it smells delicious. So I encourage you guys to try these. These are a good little snack. And like I said, do it the way you want to do it. And I just want you to enjoy these. Wasn't terribly expensive. Like I said, just buy your ingredients on sale. And please just enjoy. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And once again, thanks for coming in and cooking with me. Have a good day. See you soon.